It's amazing. It's exciting. They're actually real steps. I was amazed at how quiet it is. Are you a man with a mission? Well, if you are, we might have a boat for you today. I'm quite excited to bring this one to you guys. This is the XO Defender 9. I've already tested the Defender 8, absolute weapon of a thing, and this is the evolution. So welcome to Dan's Boat Life. I'm Dan Jones, and we're going to do a bit of a walkthrough. We have just been in the ocean discovering what this boat is capable of. It's amazing. It's exciting. It's a step up. It's the next evolution for what many of you blokes might already have or be looking towards achieving. This is not trying to be a boat for everyone. It's a little bit more unique, and that's its cool factor. But it's got some really, really functional features, which I've just discovered on the drive, and we might as well have a bit of a look through on the walkthrough. Before we get there, let's talk about the hull. XO, Finnish brand, always been focused on military grade aluminium hulls with some unique tidbits. So let's talk about that. What we have here, it's aluminium up to about here, the whole hull. I want you to see the boat, not me. So all that's aluminium. It starts at about 3 mils and then goes down to 8 mil thickness at the bottom of the boat. So it's a variable thickness as you make your way up. This here is a wrap. So just go out a little bit. Don't get too close. I want to make sure everyone can see more of the boat. But this is a wrap to here, and then aluminium. This one's anti-fouled. You do you, depending on how you're storing the boat. But it is a 23 degrees of dead rise. So cutting bow, deep V hull, decent displacement, and incredible capability on this thing. So about 2,600 kgs, you've got 450 litres of fuel, and it's a twin engine boat. We've got twin 225s on the back. But what do you have here? Beautiful rub rail just here. That's solid. We've got a couple of inches of thickness just there. I note we have another rubber built-in bumper just here on the bow. That's a trailer hook. I don't think that would be for towing behind your super yacht. You'd probably have to do an additional fitting if you wanted to do super yacht support, but you absolutely would do super yacht support on a boat like this. So we've got the aluminium hull, we've got the capability that offers, but aluminium can be noisy. You know, if you've been in a tinny, if you've been in an aluminium fishing boat, you do hear it in the hull, and that can be a negative. So the solution that XO have applied to that problem is by doing GRP decks and mouldings for the interior, so when you're inside the boat, it's all fiberglass, and for the living or the functional sections, the gap between the hull and the fiberglass is all insulated. And you absolutely notice it. It feels like you're in a high quality sports car. At times it feels like you're in a jet fighter, to be honest. But that's the experience they've created. So you've got the functionality and the durability of the aluminium, but you've got the luxury and the experience of the GRP. So that's really, really cool. So I'll jump on in a second. We're trying to keep the boat floating because we haven't always succeeded doing this in the past. We've got our stainless steel cleats here. This is like powder coated, looks like aluminium, and it's the typical Scandinavian Finnish vibe. Practicality is their focus, so that's good to see. And we've got an anchor which folds out, and I'll have a look at in a second, but let me see if I can get my little legs on the bow. So yeah, get my best angle there. Oh, actually I can probably use that as a little bit of a step up. It's not too bad. I'm sure you could do a deployable step. That's just how I did it. As you can see, it's winter here in Sydney. I'm wearing pants. It was actually quite cold earlier. So what do we have here? We've got an opening bow, perfect for boarding on the beach. This is a bigger boat. I think for many people, you're going to want to think about a deployable step ladder, which you could, I'm sure you could build something custom into this setup here, because this is where the anchor deployment system operates and sits in. So you might as well utilize that function there already. Pulling into docks is going to be practical because you can nudge up against some fixed docks there and board people on and off the bow. So just underneath my feet, you can hear me stepping on it, is the anchor locker. We'll cut to a shot of that, but that's a stainless steel anchor which deploys and electrically operates. We've got our 2 stainless steel cleats here, and we've got our navigation lights just here, which are with stainless steel surrounds. Now, one of the things I love on this boat, you know, it's not unique, it's the upholstery color. This is cool. I can't remember the name. They've got some cool name for it, but it's just this like sort of, I don't even know what you call it. It's a yellowy vibe, but it's a real soft yellow, like kind of sandy almost. And it's just really cool. I'm trying to make sure I got dry feet before I set on that, but let's actually just give you a perspective. So this is a lovely space to enjoy when you've got these cushions deployed. And just on the test drive, I noted in the ocean, up the waves, across the waves, and down them, we didn't get any water in the bow. So these cushions are as they are following an offshore test drive. So from a practical point of view, that's cool. The other sensible thing they've done, if you just have a look in here, we've got a bolt rope along here, here, and here. Thank you, XO. That is sensible thinking. So many boat manufacturers forget about that sort of stuff. Your cushions look sexy, you go fast, and then they take off. So we've got bolt ropes, boom, 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 press studs underneath, cushions going nowhere, not getting wet, so can still be used when you get to your destination. And then we've got this neat little setup in here to create a sun lounge kind of hangout zone, which is going to be good for 2 adults and maybe a couple of kids. Can be easily removed and stowed below as well. Just here is access to the cabin. We're going to get to that, but this is one of the 2 areas you can access the sleeping and the toilet area below. So we've got window, that's a handle, that's actually the push button release to get in there, and then you've got a glass top just there to let some light in to the cabin down below. Now, should you jump on the boat? Do you want to give me the camera? And let's continue this walkthrough. What a nice day, by the way, guys. This is why you buy a boat like this. Enjoy scenery like we are right now. I think maybe if you face back at me, if you go over there, face back at me, and let's kind of just walk our way along. So this is the space we got here, as you just experienced. We've got the nice grab handles all the way along. Opening door, that looks like water in just there and waste out on port. So I'm going to come down this side. So if you push back a little bit and we'll get there. The design of the cabin, and we will cut to shots of this, it's absolutely gorgeous. And gorgeous is not the right word. It's tough. It's got presence, this boat. Like, it really is. Whoever's designed this, I love it because it's functional, it's solid, and it looks super cool. But we've got, this feels like, that feels like an aluminium, powder coat aluminium frame. And then this is fiberglass top here. And then we have a 3-piece windscreen, which is toughened glass, 2 windscreen wipers with freshwater wash system in them. And then as we make our way into the center of the boat, I've got an air vent going into, that's likely the head just there. Not sure what that is. It's some sort of venting setup there, possibly between the aluminium and the fiberglass. And I do note, I saw them in the bow, I've got some stainless steel courtesy lights. So they are dotted all the way around the boat. So you've got down lights and you've got courtesy lights. I don't know what color they are, but that you can illuminate the floor without ruining your night vision. So I think we need to talk about this area first before we start making our way back. So I'm going to pop over here, try and just get all of this in shot. Don't come too close. I just want to make sure everyone can see the whole thing. So when you step into the cabin, you actually go down about that much from the deck level. So I'm 5'7", I've come down that much. I now have that much above my head. So tall blokes can still get in here and stand and be comfortable, and sitting isn't going to be a problem. I'll show you that in a second. But before we get there, let's talk about this dash, because there's a number of things that I was really impressed with when I was out, let's face it, belting through the sea, feeling really comfortable and quite excited. First things first, practicality of the matte dash forward, so you're not going to get any glare bouncing back into your face. I can see these little slits here. I assume that's something to do with an optional demister for the windscreen, so that could be sensible in some environments. You can see the welds here, so it's clearly an aluminium frame which is creating the structure of the roof, and not a rattle, guys, not a rattle. This thing feels high quality. It feels solid from the doors to the bits and pieces bolt on throughout the boat, not a rattle. We've got some soft furnishing just in here, 1, 2, 3, all LED down lights. And then the roof structure itself, it is fiberglass on the top, but there's some sort of lining on the inside with a, you know, kind of the roof vibe that you'd see in some cars, I guess, before you get to the quite tough looking plastic surround of the opening sunroof. So that's like a plexiglass sunroof with a, looks like it's got a moderate tint on it, and it's a Webasto construction. So this area, it's multi-function, because whilst it's all open right now, and I've got protection from 1, 2, 3 sides here, I can let in the air here, but if I choose, like I did before, if I want to have some protection from the wind, I can on both sides. And the other thing I want you to pay attention to, do you see any water droplets on this glass? Because we haven't cleaned it and we've just been in the ocean. So we didn't get a drop of water on any of the windows. So it's multifunctional, it's great for summer and winter, and I like that the back, and we don't need to have a look at that just yet, but the back is still open. It's just a roll down clear. So you got really good connection with the seat. You got the ability to open the door to what looks like this position, because there's a locking pin just there. And then, which we're going to discover in a second, these seats that are currently facing aft, they actually will face forward. So you've got the ability to put everyone in the go fast driving mode, sit all 6 to 7 passengers down and go fast, or put it into social mode and do your thing. Anyway, I'm getting distracted because I was supposed to be talking about the Helm. So, focusing back on this area here, we've got the matte dash. We have, this is like a glass base or finish just here from here to here, and that carries across. The Simrad screen, there's clearly space for 2. If you wanted to fit 2, that's what that tells me there. I've currently got it on engine diagnostics. You can run radar, chart plotter, etc., do all your sounders on it as well. Got a Ritchie compass here and a VHF over here. So just starting from port and moving my way across to starboard, we've got our banks of buttons just here, bilge pump, head, deck, anchor, and nav lights. And then on the starboard bank, we've got horn, sprinklers, courtesy, cockpit, and spare. Just there. Forward of the throttle, we have the, that's the control for the spotlight. And then the throttle position itself is sensibly placed, just set back from the wheel slightly. So that's really good from a ergonomic perspective for driving fast. Then what I also like to see is easy access to the trim tabs. So your throttle hand can move down to the trim tabs. So just go out a little bit so everyone can see that. What you will do is utilize this rail just here, because you might find yourself driving and resting your throttle hand on the rail as you're bouncing through the waves, and it gives you a really nice reference point. So from operating the throttle then to coming down and doing the trim tabs, this is a great design from a operational perspective, but it also keeps your guests out of the way. If they're transiting down into the cabin, which we'll look at after this, it stops them from knocking the boat into gear. So that's very clever. On the starboard side of the trim tabs, we've got the unlock for the door. Then we've got the anchor windlass control up and down. We've got phone charging just here. Could do with a little bag of some sort to drop your phones in, to be honest. So at the moment, I think you'd do a suction cup or a suction phone holder thing onto the glass. So that's the most logical solution for that. Underneath the wheel, we've got the key starts, 1, 2, and your safety just there. The wheel is adjustable, and just focus in on this wheel. It's gorgeous. It's very tough vibe, this one, with the XO in the middle, and this black feels like aluminium frame with a leather stitched wheel itself, so that's cool. Now moving my way along to the port side, another thing I really like seeing is the operation of the boat. House, start, 1, 2, and bow. These are all your batteries. So the skipper can just do everything from the helm. That's awesome. Windscreen wipers, Luma thruster, and then the VHF mounted there. So next I want to show you the suspension seats, because this is a clear upgrade. So maybe just go back there and try and keep a lot of this in shot so you guys can see what's going on. Cool design, flip up bolster, comfortable for your bum. For a passenger, you've got this footrest just here. And I did notice, because the last XO I was on, the suspension seats must have been a different brand to this, because they were a little bit squeaky. And these ones were smooth as silk. Really, really nice through the waves, comfortable on your bum. So you've got adjustment just there. And to stand, I guess you want to, if you needed to stand, you probably pull this out and then get that out of the way. But they're solid as. And then transiting from side to side, you don't want to be an overly overweight person, to be honest. So getting through here, normal people have enough space. If you're a big bloke with a big beer belly, get off the beers or just reduce the beers, because you might get stuck just here. So I really see this boat appealing to your more active, sporty blokes. But anyway, you do you. Before we start moving our way out of here, there is drink holders. So there is 2 drink holders for driver and passenger. Stereo operation is from this mid-center console area. We've got another phone charging spot and your AUX for your Fusion, but you can Bluetooth. And then we've got all the boat's fuses. Again, sensible positioning, nice to see, so the skipper can control everything from the helm. These are just a couple of cockpit drains, although I can't see the boat getting wet in here. That's really if you spilt something. Before we move, so just move out a little bit and get this in shot, there is a footrest for the driver. So there's a footrest just here. So if you were driving and you want to just sit up on the seat, you can just do that. And then the seat is adjustable. And does this one have... Okay, so this one doesn't have the footrest here. It's got the footrest there, whereas the passenger has a footrest on the seat console itself. All right, so I think we've got to move our way around. I think we need to go and have a look at the back of the boat. So you go to the very back corner. I might even put the end... Oh, no, I haven't got the power on. So just go all the way back, and I'll come this side. And whoop, my microphone. I'm back. Sorry, my microphone just came undone. Okay, so this section here, so go all the way to the back and see if you can capture this. We've got this facing aft at the moment. This seat can actually flip up like the old Red Rattler trains, and it'll face forward. So that's a two-man operation, but I'll show you that. We'll cut to a shot of that. There is a fridge just down here, so a drinks fridge. Don't worry about coming to have a look at it. We'll cut to a shot of that. And you've got a decent amount of stand-up headroom just here, so probably another 2 or 3 inches above my head. But this is going to be a comfortable place to drive. Having just been for a drive in the cabin, I was amazed at how quiet it is in here. You can hold a conversation. Those engines are not overly noisy. Obviously the cabin's giving you a lot of insulation and sound insulation, but at 30 knots you could hold a conversation really comfortably. This would be great to drive facing aft, and I will show you that, so just stay there. So the way to get more space at the back of the boat is to slide these doors, so they're just making the best use of the available space. Oh, gotta put my sunnies on for this. It's probably the best seat in the house. So how good's that? So this would be a wonderful place to run at speed. It's good for 2 adults, maybe 3 kids if you're pushing it, but you've got this is your lunch spot. You know, looking at previously at the earlier model Defender, there was no option to do anything like this. It really was fishing, spearfishing, surfing. You know, I was envisaging having gun racks and going hunting and all that sort of stuff. You could do all that on this boat, but you can also take your wife out and you can take your girlfriend out and do some fancy stuff as well. So that's great. This drops down as well. I can see 2 legs. We'll just cut to a shot of that, so that's all right. So this will drop down and turn into a sun lounge, which puts these people under the shade and in the protection, and then basically sitting on your own waterfront bed. So before we get there, so just try and keep all of this in shot, I want to show you this seat. So for 4 people, this boat is perfect. For 6 people, it's still doable. And if your inclination is to go and have lunch on the boat, it's absolutely possible. Now, to be fair, I'm imagining people doing more exploration and going to destinations on a boat like this. So they might have a restaurant booking at the other end of their really fun day out that they've used this boat for. So I don't see that being the primary role, but I like having the ability to do all that. And you've got 2, 4, 6 people really comfortable, 7 at a squeeze if they are if they're moderately sized. And if you did have people just chilling out, this is another really sensible and comfortable spot to do it. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people enjoying this, and that's a positive sort of start to the day in my opinion. So what else can I show you? I'm not finished. There is fender and rope storage on either side. So there's this on starboard and port. Then we've got little kid and doggy doors. That's really just going to stop your small dogs on either side. We do have a shower, so that's a little, I'm not sure if that's hot and cold. I would assume it's only cold, to be fair, being an outboard boat. Out here on the transom, we've got a 3-step telescopic swim ladder, which just deploys from here. But see how the design here, that's great, because if you've got less mobile people, they can actually then use that to pull themselves up and out of the water. Just stepping across the quality. I don't want to trim the engines down because we're in shallow water, so we might have to find some other shots and get that to you. But the quality of the finish here, stainless steel housing, the wiring looms exiting the housing, then going to the motors. Everything is just that next level from what I can see. So moving over here to port, I can see my shore power outlet just here. More storage just there. It's pretty deep too, so it's that long, okay? And so that'll easily take 2 fenders standing up. You could put fender storage on either side. Ropes as well in there would be fine too. And on this side, no swim ladder, just your enough space actually to board the boat from the transom, because when the engines are down, they're going to be in line with this swim platform just there. So I'm going to start making my way a little bit forward, and then we will get into the cabin. Fuel in here, 450 litre tank. There's clearly something below us here which I don't know, so just go back a little bit and let's just see what we discover. I'm going to get down here. Oh, okay, so I've just found a manual bilge pump. Oh, yep, okay, mate. Stuart, can you turn it down? We're trying to do a YouTube video here, mate. Sorry, I left the VHF radio on. So, Stuart's obviously found some fish. So, what's under here? Oh, access into the bilge. So I've got, I can see tanks on either side. I've got wiring loom. I've got all my batteries set up. So that's your service access. That's good and sensible. And clearly, if you needed to get in there, I think the process would be to drop this table down. Then this will hinge with a little bit more ease. So that's cool. I did see storage underneath this seat just here. That's a sensible place for all your safety gear. But when you've got guests with their bags, they're going to be in the cabin. So you go down the starboard side, I'll go down the port. Before we do that, we should have a look at the roof. So, what a sexy roof it is. So we do have quite a stylish mast just here with VHF aerials. We've got our nav lights and our spotlight mounted just here. But one thing I note is 2 fixing points at the leading edge and then a hinge. So if you were in an area where you needed to get under a low bridge, this is going to fold down and give you easily a metre, maybe more, with some aerials here of clearance that you might need. I've just got a VHF aerial here, and one thing I didn't notice little roof racks up here. So small roof racks, but you could utilize these to store things, and that just gives you just a little bit of clearance. I wouldn't be operating the sunroof if you've got something stored up here, but it gives you a fixing point for tying on surfboards and that sort of thing. If you're going to be doing roof racking more regularly, you want to probably add something a little bit more substantial than this, but this provides a good mounting point for that. So why don't you guys go down that side, I'll go down this side, and let's discover this cabin. Okay, so going downstairs, we just press that button, that releases the top part, and then this slides across, and then you can just flip that thing across there if you are in heavy seas and you don't want it to open. Going downstairs, it's tighter space, but let's just see. So I can't stand totally, but I wouldn't expect to, because if you made this area higher, you'd ruin the looks of the boat. So that makes sense. But from a sitting perspective, this is comfortable. So first things first, I've actually pressed this button here and then opened the alternative entry and exit way facing forward, and that takes you straight out onto the sun lounge. So that's, even though you've got side access, it's also a nice logical place going through the boat there. And it means if you're coming down for a sleep, this area down here is going to be lovely because you're going to have some airflow. Now, it's obviously worth noting the cushions haven't arrived yet. There is normally cushions that I'm sitting on here, but they just shipped the boat without them because they weren't finished and wasn't worth waiting. So let's just see how much space we have. Got a little storage area up the front, and if I was lying on the cushions, my feet would be at the end of the bed there. And I've got quite a lot of space, actually. It's pretty good. Got about that much space, so minus a few inches of cushion just there. So if you're rolling around for whatever reason, you're going to be comfortable. I mean, that's all doable. I note that you've got some strip lighting all the way up around here, so it's quite a nice vibe, actually. And they've even gone to the attention to detail to finish off all the fiberglass in here. Whilst it is just a fiberglass finish, I'm not going to say just a fiberglass finish. It's incredibly well done, and it's practical because you're probably going to be doing a lot more ocean activities in a boat like this. And so what do you want like soft furnishings down here for? They're just going to get wet. So I don't mind that. So then when you transition to the seating area in here, you've got a downlight here and a downlight here. Another hard-wearing surface here with, I can see aluminium frame going up. Speaker, lights operation here, power point, and 12-volt phone charging there and there. We've got access into the build just there, so I've just got freshwater pump on that side, wiring loom, and that's the pump for the dunny just there. But there's another little unique feature here. See this just here. So this is some Flexi-Teak soft decking here and here, which kind of looks like the world's smallest steps. But the reason why they look like the world's smallest steps is because they're actually real steps. And you do that, and then put that in place, and then boom, boom, boom. How cool is that? Like, what a clever, unique design to give you a solution to accessing the bow. So I imagine if you're a solo operator and you just want to get up to the bow and it's cold, wintry, blowy day and you don't want to open the doors, this is the way to do it. So very clever, good to see. Anyway, let's finish the rest of this. I've got a little bit of carpet on the floor here. I've got a nice little spot to put things here and here. This window, same on the other side, goes to that air vent that I saw on the way through. So that's what that is. It just stops the water coming in and allows some air to pass through. Got some storage in here. No hanging, but just 2 shelves. So that's suitable. I think what you could possibly do is just mount a hook here and here for wet weather jackets and towels. That's the only modification I would do to this. And the loo is pretty nice. Pass me the camera. You guys got to see this. This is for an adventure boat. This is nicely finished. So there's some soft furnishing. There's a window to let some air out. But just soak all this in, guys. Nice mirror. Proper little porcelain, I guess. Sink there. So you've got the shower thingamajiggy and the tap. And then we've got this. So you've got your loo roll holder, space for cleaning gear. That's the reservoir for the windscreen wiper wash, so that's easy to access at least. And we've got an electric toilet just there. So that's not bad. And a little space behind. So behind the loo, you could roll up beach towels and stand them up and just store them there. I'm going to sit down on the loo, so why don't you just grab that camera off me to give everyone a perspective for the space. So it's not huge, but you can't expect that on this size of boat, I suppose, of what we're trying to achieve. So, fine. Like, the girls are going to be happy with this. Blokes, well, you can go up the side. But you've even got a proper little screen here. Let's just do that. Yeah. Totally doable. So if you're having showers, you've got, that's like a, strong Perspex frosted glass screen, so no one's going to see. You could do a sit-down shower. It's going to be awkward, but like, it's doable. And yeah, this is cool. All right, let's get back up on deck. Alrighty, 1, 2. Actually, not even going to hit my head so much there, so that's pretty good. And then closing that, you got the handle there. I suppose you just lift these cushions up. Easy. Well, guys, what's my wrap up? XO Defender 9. This thing's amazing. This thing is aggressive. This thing is fun. This thing is solid, and this thing is capable. And this thing is not trying to impress everyone, which is why I like it. If you know what you want out of life, if you have specific adventures and you want just that little tidbit of luxury, but a lot of awesomeness, I think you need to look at the XO Defender 9. My name's Dan Jones. This has been Dan's Boat Life. See you on the next one.